We're back.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what happened. Technological difficulties here at Will and Amala Live. If you've been with us since the beginning, you know we are no stranger to technological difficulties. But we've had a pretty good run. I should put up a board that says, one day without a technological issue.
Major accident.
Right. And we will keep you guys posted on that. Let's get back into stories here since we are now pressed for time. We've got 30 minutes left on the stream here today. Let's talk about whether or not the government is going to be paying for you to have crack pipes. I don't know how many times I have to say this, but okay. It's been speculated and it's pretty clear at this point. The HHS, which is in charge of different health endeavors here in the United States, has put out a recent plan that involves giving safe smoking kits and supplies to people who are drug addicts. Now, for those of you who don't know, a crack pipe would be a smoking kit or supply that you would use if you were a drug addict. This is very reminiscent of different plans, many of which are active here in California, of giving people clean needles for heroin use and making sure that if people are going to be doing drugs, that they are doing so in the safest possible manner. Here's evidence here. This tweet here, the HHS, where it's highlighted safe smoking kits and supplies. Now, of course, the internet and people involved in politics at large are up in arms about this. How could our taxpayer money be going towards people being able to do drugs? Is that really a priority that we want to put on a list? And the specific issue that many are taking with this is that this program is communicated to people as a program meant to go towards racial justice and equity. What does that mean? That much of this money is being used towards what they call underserved communities, which would be low-income communities. Low-income communities happen to be communities of color. So a lot of this is going to be funding crack pipes in lower-income communities, and we know what that means. So, of course, people have been talking about this up in arms. They've been tweeting about it and calling out the HHS, calling out this current administration, calling out the government. And of course, Snopes comes out and puts a fact check on this. And here's the fact check. At the top, it says mostly false with a big red X. And let's read further. What is mostly false? What's true? In 2022, a U.S. Department of Health and Human Services substance abuse harm reduction grant did require recipients to provide safer smoking kits to existing drug users. In distributing grants, priority would be given to applicants serving historically underserved communities. So this is saying we did give out safer, cleaner crack pipes to people who were addicted to drugs, and we did so in historically underserved communities. And by that, they mean communities of color with lower income. Now, what's false? Here's what they write for what's false. This was just one of around 20 components of the grant program and far from its most prominent and important one. Okay, so you're admitting that it's part of the grant. You're admitting that's exactly what they're doing. But your only argument here is that it's not prominent. So really, you've fact-checked nothing. You've said, quote, everything that you're saying is true, and this is part of this program. So how is it that we get this fact check that says what's true and what's false? And this fact check communicates to us that what we're saying is correct and what we're saying is true. And then Snopes says mostly false. And it really is a disservice and a manipulation of people who are going to read the headline on this and say, is the government funding crack pipes for drug abusers? And then they're going to see that big red X and see the two words mostly false, and they're not going to read past that. So not only is it a disservice to those people, but it's sad that that's the state that we're in right now, that most people are going to look at the top section of this and go, oh, well, it's mostly false. It's just the bigots at it again. It's just those mean-spirited, cuckoo conservatives coming after us and saying, how dare they, when really none of that's happening. And it's ridiculous that they can get away with this.
It's a bold strategy to literally say, here's the claim we're fact-checking. Big red X, not true. And then explain how it is true.
Right.
But yet double down on the fact that it's not. It reminds me of what was it a couple of years ago, the alternative facts narrative?
Oh, right. We have alternative facts from what was given here, and you need to look at the alternatives. It's very reminiscent of Brian Stelter, and not all opinions are formed equally. So this sort of rhetoric is not new to the media landscape, certainly, and certainly not new to fact checkers, when most of these people are just putting out their opinions. That's exactly what it is. Yet are called fact checkers. We saw the same story with Facebook, how Facebook's fact checkers, quote fact checkers, were just independent people who were clearly promoting their own political biases in their fact checks. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. Be honest about what you're doing. If it's such a great endeavor, if it's going to be so helpful to underserved communities, let's be honest about that. You felt the need to put it in your 20-point grant. So let's talk about why we should be giving crack pipes and clean needles to people who are drug addicted, and talk about how well that has worked here in the state of California.
Yeah, if it were actually about the policies and actually about the truth of the matter, then that's a great point. Defend the policies themselves.
Yes.
And break down why this is actually a good idea. Don't make a fact check don't try to create a smoke screen saying that what is true is false. That's literally just lying.
Exactly, and there probably is a discussion to be had about what forms of drug legalization work and how these programs find success or how these programs fail. But if we're just going to lie and say no, we're not even doing this. This is not something that we've put forth, and say this is mostly false, while in the paragraphs talking about how true it is, we're not going to have the discussion. And that's what we need, is the discussion. Do these things work? And if so, let's have that discussion. But clearly you have an agenda to hide this. And why would that be? I'll leave that question to you all. Next story here. Adele slammed for telling a gender-neutral award show that she loves being a woman. She's now being accused of transphobia for this. So Tuesday night, Adele attended the Brit Awards. And she collected a prize for Artist of the Year. We all know Adele. She's brilliant. She's a great writer. She's a great performer. She has a phenomenal voice. Now, it was a newly created category, I guess, for the Best Male and Best Female Artist Awards. So she wins this award. And she says, I understand why the name of this award has changed, but I really love being a woman and being a female artist. I do. And she said this to huge cheers. I'm really proud of this. I really, really am. But now she's getting accused of being transphobic. It's just so amazing that you can no longer acknowledge what is your own biological reality. And it's not like she infringed upon anybody's rights or stepped on anybody's toes by walking up and saying, you know what? I acknowledge why you would want something like this, because you believe that gender isn't binary and that people can be whatever they want to be. And she's made no statement otherwise. All she said was, but I love being a woman. And you know what? I stand with Adele. I too love being a woman.
and I love being a man.
There you go. And Taylor loves being a man. And how that can somehow be a controversial thing to say is so beyond me. Why, if you want so badly to be validated in your identity and who you believe you are, would you then attack somebody who wants to feel validated in the way that she feels and the way that she is, which is a biological woman? Answer that, because it's a street that is not going both ways here. And it's very similar to the video we talked about yesterday of a young man, I believe, saying, if you don't want to date trans women, you're a transphobe. No. If you want so badly to affirm, for other people to affirm how you feel, affirm how others feel. And they feel like they want to date biological women. And Adele acknowledges that she is a biological woman and she loves that about herself. So leave her be. But now she's being called a transphobe who's using her platform to call for the destruction of the trans community.
I thought of that video yesterday too. To say I'm straight, don't want to date trans people, that makes you transphobe. Mm-hmm. It's like the entire category of straightness is just basically shut up. You're never acknowledge that is even a thing unless you're just going to, I don't know, be an ally or whatever. And the same thing's becoming true of womanhood.
Yes.
They're basically erasing the entire category of womanhood and, just shut up and let the trans women win all of your competitions and just watch it happen and applaud. And don't you dare say that you love being a woman or that you love being a straight woman, God forbid.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the mirror image of intersectionality. You're a worse person the more of these opposite categories that they don't like you check. And saying anything to say that they're normal or good or anything like that is just unacceptable.
It is. It's disgusting, in fact. I don't know how it gets, I tweeted out the other day, if you support cancel culture right now, just know that it is coming for you and you will be next. Because if you are watching what is offensive now, it's far different from what was offensive even 2 years ago, let alone 5 or 10. And I cannot wait to see what the moral and ethical musings of our children and grandchildren are, because if it's anything like the track that we're on right now, it is going to be ridiculous, and it will be coming for you. Every single leftist and radical who is supporting the cancellation or is calling Adele a transphobe for saying that she loves being a woman. Oh, honey, I cannot wait to see what comes for you, because we are going to far surpass saying woman as an offensive term. There's going to be so much more that comes out of this. And what is going to be offensive in 10 years, I have no idea. But I'm very curious to see. Very curious.
American person. So what are all the songs that we should replace the word woman with now? Because apparently that's unacceptable.
Oh my gosh,
Witchy
there's a million.
person. Man, I feel like a person.
Oh my, you make me feel like a natural person.
There you go.
There's so many. Maybe we'll do a game out of that on Fun Friday or something like that. We will try to gender neutralize songs and movies.
Pretty person.
It's just ridiculous, the hoops that we're going to have to jump through. Now, let's move to someone else who is in the process of what has been what I would call an extended cancellation, and that is Joe Rogan. But they're being unsuccessful. It's very unsuccessful because people, by and large, are standing by Joe Rogan. His fans are standing by his side. We are standing by his side and supporting him. But most recently, in the political attack, the onslaught that he's been going through, is an old video resurfacing of Joe Rogan saying something that I will admit is in very, very poor taste. Is that who Joe Rogan is now? Clearly not. So somebody who's come out to bat to discuss this is The Daily Show's Trevor Noah. And here's his comment on Joe Rogan.
Even though Rogan apologized, this was strange. A lot of people were arguing sort of against his apology, saying that the N-word with context is totally fine for a white person to say. Yeah, and I understand what they're saying. Like, maybe you're a professor teaching history. Maybe you're a news anchor reporting on a story about Joe Rogan. Maybe you're in a Quentin Tarantino movie and you have to use the N-word, because if you don't, then the movie has no dialogue. But, for the most part, as a white person, you never need to use the N-word. There's no need. For example, I've gone this entire story saying the N-word, and everyone has understood exactly what I've meant, right? Nobody's sitting at home going, Nutella? Neanderthal? Nelly Furtado? Why is Trevor being so vague? What is the word? In fact, here's a life hack for white people. Saying the actual N-word puts you in unnecessary trouble, especially if you're not racist.
Pause. The only reason it does that is because we've had a racialized view of language that says that certain races can say a word and certain races can't. Let's be consistent here. If you're going to say that black people can say the N-word, you better be consistent across all races, because while we're listening to rappers who say the N-word 30 times, 40 times, 50 times a song and cheering that on and talking about how great that is, a white person says it while quoting someone else. And I want to be clear about when Joe Rogan said the N-word, quoting someone else. And even if he said it without quoting someone else, where's the consistency there? Because all of a sudden we're up in arms because his skin tone looks a little different than the person who says it next. So let's be consistent. Connotation is also really important. Why was the word being said? Was it being said to actually say something racist? Now, I want to talk about other comments that came out of Joe Rogan in his prior appearances. A comment was made, I believe, while Joe Rogan was going to watch a movie at a predominantly black area. And he said, maybe I should just find it. Maybe I should just find the clip so you guys can listen to exactly what Joe said. Because it's not, it's not a shining moment. Here it is.
Joke when he said it.
We walk into Planet of the Apes. We walked into Africa, dude. We walked in the door, and there was no white people. There was no white people. Planet of the Apes didn't take place in Africa. That was a racist thing for me to say.
Yeah. There's really no getting around that, saying you walked into a place that was predominantly black and you walked into the Planet of the Apes and you walked into Africa. Not something that I would say. I would believe that that is a statement made in extremely poor taste. Now, have I made statements in poor taste at a younger age? Absolutely, I have. Is that by any means who I am today? No. And that's the issue with the cancel culture and all of this discussion, is that there's no room for nuance and there's no room for actual progress, even though progressives are the people who claim to be pushing cancel culture. Because if we are consigned to who we were 5 years ago or 10 years ago or a tweet that we put out 2 years ago, where's the progress there? You have to look at what people have said and compare it to who they are today. And it is so abundantly clear that Joe Rogan is not a racist. And that statement made in that video is a statement that Joe Rogan would not make today. So look at whether or not the person has progressed and whether or not they're different before we go being all up in arms about what they've said. And then secondly, it just does not make sense to hold somebody to the standard of who they were. You have to take that into account. You really do. And this whole commentary here on Trevor Noah's part lacks so much nuance. And I want to bring up these two tweets as well. Here's Trevor Noah talking about himself previously in 2015. To reduce my views to a handful of jokes that didn't land is not a true reflection of my character, nor my evolution as a comedian. So it seems like in 2015, Trevor Noah had a great grasp on what it meant to look at progress and to not hold somebody to who they were years prior or jokes that they made years prior, when it's very clear that Joe Rogan was making a joke in this video segment. But now, The Daily Show says, when Joe Rogan says I wasn't being a racist, I was just being entertaining. No, Joe, I think you were using racism to try to be entertaining. Trevor unpacks Rogan's N-word and Planet of the Apes apologies. And it's so interesting that we tend to give ourselves so much more grace than we give other people. And that's something that we should always be cognizant of. And that's clearly something that Trevor is not cognizant of, because in 2015, he gave himself so much grace for jokes that he had made prior. But in 2022, gives Joe Rogan no grace, even when Joe Rogan has gone to bat for Trevor Noah in the past. When Trevor Noah was under controversy for comments and jokes that he had made, Joe Rogan came out and said, Noah's a super funny guy. And I come and I'm backing and supporting him. So where's the consistency?
Yeah, you having grace extended to you should not depend on your political position. There should just be an element of a willingness to forgive, a willingness to let people learn in our culture. That is a healthy thing, to allow people to grow, to allow people to take responsibility for their mistakes and move on. And the double standard my mind keeps going to what just happened with Whoopi Goldberg on The View and her comments about Jews and the Holocaust, and that were pretty unacceptable. And yet there's not this massive effort to cancel Whoopi Goldberg or deplatform her or anything. She kind of got a slap on the wrist from her show, was banned for a couple of weeks, but the overall attitude, it feels like there's definitely an asymmetry between the outrage, because Rogan is somebody who does not reinforce the mainstream narrative, and he steps out of bounds, and he's maybe not just beating the same political drum as everyone else, and Whoopi kind of is. And so it's like, if you're saying the right things, if you have the right attitudes, if you have the right views, then you get a free pass. If you have the wrong views, then this is the evidence that you are irredeemably a horrible person and racist, and you should be deplatformed. And that's definitely hypocritical.
Right. They look at somebody and they look at somebody like Whoopi or Trevor Noah and they go, that person's going to service the narrative in the future. And maybe they said something wrong here, but they'll toe the line after this and I can put them back in line. So that's going to be fine. So we'll allow them to get the little slap on the wrist and then they come back. But then we look at Joe Rogan and we know that he goes against the narrative and they know that they're not going to get support from him. And they go, okay, let's cancel this guy. And it seems very strategic with Joe, and I said this on this show before. There is step after step of them trying to cancel him, and this has been going on for weeks now. So it's very clear that there's something going on here. And there's been people who've looked into the leaks of these videos of Joe Rogan that are being put out by certain Twitter accounts that are clearly indecent and clearly planned in not only timing, but subject matter. So this seems quite like an organized attack against Joe Rogan. And we'll see how things pan out, but I'm sort of over it. And Joe came out and apologized for the comments, which is something that I disagree with. You should not apologize, especially if it's not who you are today. Do not apologize, because what you've done now is you've told everybody that, hey, you can push me around. And you can bully me into submission here. And the next person, whoever the next Joe Rogan is that they want to come after and cancel, they're going to come at their throat even harder, because they know what the threshold is. They know, we attacked Joe Rogan for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And finally, we got this video and we came after him even harder, and he apologized. So at the next person, they're going to push it even farther and even farther and even farther, because they know that it works, even with titans in this industry like Joe Rogan. So don't apologize. You really have not done anything wrong, and it's not who you are today. So just acknowledge that. And that's all you have to do. And it's unfortunate that this has gotten an apology.
It is unfortunate.
It is. We're going to move on now. We have our Super Bowl snack tier list. But first, guys, we have a new Stories of Us featuring none other than Yeonmi Park. We are all big fans of her on this show. She has an amazing, heart-wrenching story that I think you all should see. Here is a short clip of that, and you can watch it by going to PragerU.com, clicking watch or browse, and going to our Stories of Us series.
In America, I had to be worrying about brainwashing and propaganda. We have a brainwashing going on in this country. My name is Yeonmi Park, and this is my story. I was born in North Korea, and I escaped when I was 13 years old. I did have one older sister, and I had two loving parents. But in North Korea, there is no word for love. So my parents never told me that they loved me. The first thing my mom told me as a young girl was, don't even whisper, because the birds and mice could hear you. We never knew who was a spy, how they were watching. When I was 8 or 9, my father was arrested by the regime, accused him that...
I'm going to pause there. You guys can check out the rest of her video by going to PragerU.com and checking out Stories of Us. I promise you will not... you will be missing something if you do not watch this, and also go and purchase her book. She's an amazing, amazing woman who is just really has a story that breaks through the barrier of ideology and gets people to assess where they are and what their values are. She's amazing. She's amazing. So go check out Yeonmi Park and watch her Stories of Us video.
And by the way, if you're more interested and want to hear more from Yeonmi, she was on Will and Amala Live a few months ago. So Amala interviewed her, so you can go back and search that. She also has a couple of great interviews with Joe Rogan, speaking of the devil.
That's true.
And Jordan Peterson. So there's a lot out there, and she's just fascinating to listen to.
Yes. Now, before we get into our Super Bowl snack tier list, guys, a couple of announcements here. One, I've been banned off TikTok.
Yeah.
So not a good announcement.
We named the show Amala got banned from TikTok again yesterday. That was the title of yesterday's show, and we didn't even acknowledge it the whole show. So sorry
That's
about
true.
that, guys, but
Yeah.
it is true.
It is true. I guess I didn't acknowledge it because I'm so desensitized to being banned and censored on platforms that it just didn't pass my mind during the program yesterday. But yes, I've been banned. They say permanently on TikTok, although they told me permanently the first time and then I got it back. So I've appealed it with the TikTok overlords, and hopefully they give me my account back, because that is my largest account, 600,000 followers on that. I can't imagine what I would be doing if that was my main source of income. Luckily it is not. But yeah, I've been permanently banned, they say, on TikTok. So tweet at them and ask them what they're doing with my account, please.
Ask them what happened to their initiative to elevate Black voices.
Yes, please. And thank you. And I will give you an update if I get my account back. I sure hope that I do.
We'll bust out the black card for this, just all the stops.
Luckily, I have other announcements for you that are good ones. It's looking like this week, tonight, I'm going to be on Laura Ingram's show, The Ingram Angle, yet again, paneling at, 7:05 Pacific here, 10 o'clock Eastern if you are on the East Coast. And guys, I'm going to be on Jesse Waters on Friday on Fox News as well, tentatively, and I will update you and see if anything changes there. But Friday, tonight, Laura Ingram and the Ingram Angle. Friday, Jesse Waters, Waters World, which is so insane to me.
I'm just glad you could fit us in today.
Yeah, right. The schedule's getting hefty, ladies and gentlemen. You'll have to contact my secretary, who sounds an awful lot like me on the phone. So let's get into our Super Bowl snack tier list. We made up a list. We compiled as many Super Bowl snacks as we could think of. I think we have like 27 or 26 on here.
It's a lot.
So you guys can fill us in the comments if we missed any. But I've created a tier list, and we're going to go through the different tiers here because I think they're funny. So if it's God tier, top of the list, S tier snack, we're putting it in Tom Brady tier. Next, below that is touchdown. Still great, but not quite Tom Brady. Then we got field goal. Still good, but not a touchdown. Then we have an interception. Pretty cool to watch, pretty good to eat, but I'm not too jazzed about it. Then we have a fumble. You know, it's not great, but I'll eat it. And then we have unsportsmanlike conduct, which is just an offense to me and everybody on the team. You shouldn't be eating these snacks.
I will give Amala credit. She created all of these categories herself.
Yes.
So I was very impressed. Can you kind of explain what the tier thing is? Because I'm familiar. I don't know if it's like a Gen Z thing. I'm familiar with like brackets and drafts and rankings and stuff. But this tier thing is like a common YouTube thing that the kids do these days, right?
Yes. So you can do a tier list with any sort of thing you want. Books, movies, foods, drinks, whatever you want to put in tiers, you can do. The higher on the tier list, obviously, the better. And if you make it to that top tier, that's just like the light of the Lord is shining on you. That's how great you are. If you make it to unsportsmanlike conduct in our case, or what would be considered D tier or F tier, you're trash. You're garbo. And anywhere in the middle, you're all right. You're doing okay. So we're going to tier all these different foods for you guys, starting with pizza. Pizza. And you guys can put what tier you guys want it in. You know what? Pizza's always great.
Music going.
I'm kind of leaning, just because it's so classic, so good, I'm kind of leaning Tom Brady tier for pizza.
No.
Really?
Not for Super Bowl.
Not for Super Bowl.
Pizza at a Super Bowl party is kind of like you were too lazy to do anything creative. And so you just called up Papa John's and we're like, here you guys go.
So is it a field goal?
Option. I would put it at like interception.
Interception?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Touchdown. I got a lot of touchdowns. Someone's got Tom Brady.
Okay, I'm seeing goal. Touchdown.
Mariah's with me on interception.
Okay.
I'd say field goal because it's
field goal because we're in between. Yeah. Okay, field goal. Next one, burgers and sliders.
Burgers and sliders. That's a pretty hearty option. It's not just like a finger food.
It's definitely not. Slider's a snack food. Slider's a snack food. I don't know. I'd much rather go for pizza than a slider. So I think I'm going to go interception.
Okay. I'm on board for that.
Interception. Okay. Oh, sorry. Interception. Okay. What else we got? This is buffalo chicken dip.
Ooh, I love that stuff.
Buffalo chicken dip's
really high.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a touchdown?
Yeah. I'm very
It might even be Tom Brady tier, but we can always reconfigure at the end.
Eventually.
We can always reconfigure at the end.
That's true.
Okay. Queso. I'm at like interception.
That's kind of like the lazy dip one.
It's an interception for me.
You could have had a more interesting dip.
You know what? Actually, it might even be a fumble.
I don't know. Like chips and salsa is a fumble. Because that's like really boring.
Okay, so we're putting queso at interception.
I guess we might have to. We could bump it down later if we have to.
We can always move it down later, guys. Chicken tenders.
Chicken tenders. I love chicken tenders, but
I love chicken tenders. That's all you have to say.
Below wings.
It's totally below wings.
I don't know.
Okay, but wings are Tom Brady tier. I'm going to put that out there right now. We get there, wings are Tom Brady tier.
I actually like boneless wings, so I should be advocating for that.
Okay, so where are you putting it? Where are chicken tenders? Field goal? That's what I think.
Indoors?
Oh, chicken tenders are field goal. Okay. Chili. It honestly might be a fumble.
Really?
Yeah. Something. Chili might be a fumble. Might even be unsportsmanlike conduct. It's not a finger food. I'm not just going to sit there and eat a bowl of chili on my Super Bowl. I think I might even be offended by it.
Wow.
Now, on a good family dinner night, I'll cook up some chili, for me and my people. But do I want to eat chili on the Super Bowl? No.
All right. I mean, I like chili.
I think it's unsportsmanlike.
I think it's a classic food for a Super Bowl party. So we'll split the difference. How about
fumble?
Fumble, I guess. Yeah.
Fumble.
I don't get excited that there's chili, but I'm not mad.
Right. But you're not going to go for it either. When it's at the table, you're not going to be like, oh man, the chili though.
I mean, it depends on what kind of party you're at.
Oh,
That
okay.
might be the only option.
Fair enough. Nachos.
Nachos. I love nachos. I might put nachos Tom Brady tier. Although,
Tom Brady.
I don't know. Actually, see, the problem is nachos at a party is like if you have this big plate and they all get soggy because they've just been sitting out, and it's like the cheese kind
Yeah.
of melts the chips together.
I
That's
was
not as
going to
good.
give it an interception or a fumble.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's just not sustainable. And at the World Economic Forum, we're looking at it. We're looking for a sustainable
Your social
future.
credit score goes down if you make nachos at your
Yeah,
party.
you're not getting an ESG. You're getting a very low ESG score.
Yeah. All
What,
right,
what are you
we
thinking?
We can do a fumble, maybe.
Fumble.
I love nachos. It pains me, but it's just hard to pull off.
Okay, loaded potato skins. I'm 100% Tom Brady tier on this.
Wow.
This is Tom Brady. This is Tom Brady. It's got bacon, it's got cheese, it's got chives, it's got sour cream, it's got potato. It is transportable. You know, it's a great vessel for all of these ingredients.
Wow. All right. I'm not
give
quite
him
as
my
high
sale.
on it as you, but we got to put something up there.
We got to put
eventually.
something in Tom Brady tier. Okay, so that's our first Tom Brady tier. Well, subject to change. Pigs in a blanket. Unsportsmanlike
Prime
conduct.
like bacon.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Who goes to a party like, yay, there's pigs in a blanket here? Like, no.
Kevin from The Office.
Yeah. Well,
Kevin from The
that's
Office.
just because he spilled his chili.
Yeah, unsportsmanlike conduct, guys. And I don't want to hear anything different in the chat.
Do not
Don't
pass
even-
go. Do not collect $200. Straight to jail.
Tacos.
Oh, I like tacos.
I don't mess with tacos. As far as
another one, though, where
sports
it's
bowl
like,
goes,
if they're
as
just-
sports
yeah.
bowl, Super Bowl goes.
As far as like a sports game, tacos I would put at like, I don't know, maybe a fumble.
I think it's a fumble.
Yeah.
You fumbled the bag right there. Okay, what do we got next? Shrimp cocktail. I'm gonna be unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah. No one, maybe if you're like at a pretentious party in Boston or something with like rich people.
Yeah,
then
first, yeah.
It's just like, why
Yo.
am I eating a shrimp cocktail?
If it's not cold, if you also, I'm like, if I didn't make the seafood, I don't trust y'all. I don't trust y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know what y'all do behind closed doors with your shrimp. So
I think the audience is with us on this one. There's a lot of
okay,
unsportsmanlike conduct. for that.
unsportsmanlike conduct. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, what even is this last one?
Which one?
I don't know what that one is at the
Oh, that's
bottom.
the meatballs.
Oh, meatballs. Okay.
That's unsportsmanlike too, right? I mean,
I don't know. You get the meatballs a little toothpick. You're like,
Yeah.
I could do it. It's an interception, I think.
okay, we'll give it interception.
It's an interception.
No,
Fumble?
I'm not putting meatballs above like chili.
Fumble.
So fumble.
Okay, you fumbled the bag. Deviled eggs. Now, I mess with deviled eggs.
Oh yeah.
I'm honestly going to give it
My
a
wife
touchdown.
loves them. Oh my god. I'm not as high on them.
You're
When
not
they're-
as high?
When they're done
Field
right,
goal?
they're pretty good. But yeah, deviled eggs.
Field goal?
Yeah, I'll give you a field goal.
Give me field goal.
Sure.
Now, if I show up and they're warm, unsportsmanlike conduct. Immediately.
Oh yeah, they're only good. Right,
That's
for
disgusting.
like 5 minutes.
That's
and they're out of the
gross.
fridge.
Yeah, that's so gross. Sweet tea. Tom Brady.
No way.
Tom Brady. I'm from the South. Sweet tea is Tom Brady tier.
I don't drink tea.
You don't drink tea.
No.
Okay, so you can't be trusted.
No iced
first
tea
of
or
all,
sweet tea.
you literally can't be trusted to even answer this.
Tom Brady.
Touchdown? Since you don't
Sweet
drink
tea?
it?
Do y'all like sweet tea? Sure, I guess touchdown. I don't know. I can't weigh in on this.
My picture-to-picture is blocking the unsportsmanlike conduct here, by the
my
way.
bad.
You want to do touchdown since you don't even drink it?
No, yeah, you can do touchdowns.
Okay, since you don't drink it, I would put it Tom Brady tier, y'all. But it's fine. Gatorade.
That's so random to me.
What do you mean?
I want Gatorade when I'm like drenched in sweat after playing volleyball for 2 hours.
Gatorade
not-
is the football drink. Gatorade is like you dump it on the coach.
Yeah, for the players,
Yeah.
not for people sitting on their couch
What?
scratching their belly watching.
Nah, you drink Gatorade, man. If you're gonna drink a non-alcoholic beverage at the Super Bowl, it's either sweet tea or Gatorade.
Well, you shouldn't be drinking a non-alcoholic beverage at your Super Bowl party. It's the
Well,
problem.
if you're an underage
I'm just kidding.
person,
Yeah, can I have a Gatorade? That's fine.
I give it a
Better
field
be
goal.
zero. Gatorade zero.
Gatorade
You don't
zero.
need all that sugar. If you're gonna have Gatorade, you need to be doing something active.
Yeah.
You don't be having all that sugar with no.
I give it a field goal.
All right.
Is that you agree? Do you concur,
but-
doctor?
No, I'd put that interception.
Intercept.
at
Okay.
most.
Okay. Interception. Buffalo wings. Tom Brady tier. Tom Brady
Buffalo.
tier. Tom
I
Brady
mean,
tier.
if we can like say it's also counts for boneless,
Sure.
then we'll put it
Sure.
Tom Brady because you
Even
gotta
though-
have wings.
Cannot believe you like boneless wings better than regular wings, but I'll allow it.
It's so messy and so much work, and you barely get any meat, and then there's like weird little stuff in there. It's just not.
Okay. It's fair
Not
enough,
good mixed
but
food.
I think it's fantastic. The sandwich platter. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Sandwich. Yeah.
The sandwich platter.
No one's ever gone to a Super Bowl party and been like, "Yay, sandwiches!"
The sandwiches. The deli platter from Publix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
unsportsmanlike conduct. I'm so sorry. I know some people enjoy a good ham and lettuce sandwich or whatever with mayonnaise on it, but it really is unsportsmanlike. Flag on the play.
Wait, we should make a poll, Spencer, of do people like boneless or regular wings? I think that's an important debate. in the
Boneless or regular wings. And if you guys don't put regular, you're fired. I don't employ you, but you're fired. Chips and salsa. Fumble.
world. Yeah.
It's good,
If
but you
not a-
fumbled.
If not unsportsmanlike.
If not unsportsmanlike, but
Just kind
at
of
least
if you're hosting a Super Bowl party and the best you can come up with is a bag of, Doritos and some salsa, it's kind of like, let's have a little effort here.
yeah, I'm gonna. The only reason I don't put unsportsmanlike conduct is because I'll eat it.
It is classic.
know,
I know.
I'll
Okay,
eat it.
okay,
I won't not
okay.
touch it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Chocolate chip cookies. This is the one dessert that we have up here.
Oh wow. Kind of a curveball.
Touchdown.
Or should I say a misdirection, play action?
Wow.
Those are you
Field
don't
goal.
know those football
I have
terms.
no idea.
That's fine.
I know what face masking is, right? Is that a thing?
Face masking.
Is that a thing?
Well, we all know what face masking is after 2 years of this pandemic. Am I right?
Knee slapper.
Oh, dang it,
That's a
I
good.
didn't
You always hit the wrong one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Chocolate chip cookies, they give a field goal.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Field goal. Okay. Beer. Tom Brady tier.
Yeah, I mean,
Tom Brady.
for those of age, it's an essential.
Do you want to tell them your beer choice, Taylor? Because I despise it.
You despise it?
I despise your beer taste because I
I
never.
mean, yeah, like, no, people are gonna be like, oh, he's one of those guys.
Okay, we won't
I
tell you
generally like IPAs.
then. Yes, Taylor likes IPAs, which I just think are so bitter and gross. I like
Good
light beers.
Lagunitas.
White Claws, ladies and gentlemen, White Claws. Fumble.
Fumble. I don't know.
What do you think? Interception?
I don't know if it's like an LA thing, but like everywhere you go now, it's fumble. It's people. I said fumble. it's like an essential. Everyone
Yeah,
has
it's like a
White Claws.
touchdown.
Yeah.
It's a touchdown, but
Yeah, I guess.
they're not that great.
No, they're definitely overrated. It's
So
like
I-
LaCroix with some alcohol in it.
Right, so I think it's fumble.
Yeah.
Fumble. White Claws
It's
is
highly
fumble.
personal though, because most people would be happy with it.
The fruit platter, Tom Brady tier for me. 100% Tom Brady tier,
Yeah.
but up to you.
Fruit is so overrated. Fruit is the most overrated food.
I'm offended. I've never been offended on the show before. I'm offended. Fruit is the go-to. It's so good. The candy of the earth, some might say. Fruit for me is Tom Brady tier. Where are you putting it, Taylor?
Interception.
Interception. So we're gonna put it at field goal because that's
All right.
in between. The veggie platter.
Veggie, yeah. I actually like veggies. better than
Fumble.
fruit. Yeah, it's not that big of a win.
Eat your veggies, kids. Fumble.
Just not at the Super Bowl party.
Just not at the Super Bowl party. Hot dogs.
That's not that exciting at a Super Bowl party, right?
I love a good hot dog, so I'm gonna say field goal.
Wow. Let's do interception.
Okay.
That needs some more.
Oh, sorry. Interception. Boom. Pizza rolls. Totino's pizza rolls.
Pizza rolls are pretty bomb.
They're pretty good.
I would be more
They're
excited
not
about pizza
messy?
rolls than pizza, to be fair.
Touchdown?
Sure, why not? We need some-
Touchdown.
I mean, this is kind
Last
of a
one.
more Super Bowl party for the people.
Yes.
The Walmart Super Bowl party.
Hey, no shame.
No shame.
No
I get it.
shame, because that's what I've been eating my entire life. Jalapeno poppers. Last one.
I could live without them.
I could live without them as well. I think I'm going to say interception.
All right. I'm here for
Interception.
it.
Okay, is there any last minute changes? Do we feel like any of these foods got wronged? And ladies and gentlemen, you can answer down in the comments below.
I mean, potato skins are really high for you. That's
Potato skins or a fruit would be higher than potato skins, but you know, you did me wrong.
wow.
So fruit, I would put Tom Brady tier if I really had the final say here. What else would I change?
54% for boneless and 45 for. Oh,
Wow.
wait, that doesn't add up, but it's fine.
That is ridiculous, you guys. I can't believe you like boneless wings better.
Someone said you can put chili on everything, so we could just spread the chili all across the
You can.
whole.
You cannot put chili on everything. And whoever said that, an officer will be at your
Jail.
house shortly to
Jail.
arrest you and put you in prison for the rest of your life.
All right.
I think that's it.
I guess this is our tier. What do you guys think?
Hypercube said food is Tom Brady, and Hypercube, I completely agree with you. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think
is the goat.
this is our tier list. Guys, this is our maybe I'll put this down in the comments. I'll put the link down for this tier list in the comments. If you guys want to go and complete this tier list, it is there on my account. You can complete it and you can tweet it at us and say, you know, this is how I would have ranked your Super Bowl snack foods. And that's it, guys. So on the Super Bowl, I will be drinking beer, eating hot wings, and potato skins and fruit.
And fruit.
That's what my Super Bowl looks like. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We are so sorry for the technical difficulties that happened at the beginning of the stream, but we're glad that you're here now and that you've watched to the end. Thank you so much. Leave a comment down below. What are the Super Bowl foods that you would have put in your Tom Brady tier, and what would you have put as unsportsmanlike conduct? Those are the two most important ones. Comment that down below. We will see you guys tomorrow at 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern. And if you guys are watching Fox News tonight, I'll be on the Ingram Angle at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. So I will see you guys there as well. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow, guys.